What's up, fellas? Today I wanted to make a quick video showing you guys what my favorite strength training equipment is, specifically like shoes, sleeves, elbow sleeves, belts, that kind of thing. Just kind of breaking down what my personal favorites are. Obviously there are no bests, so I'm not gonna bullshit you guys and say, oh, these are the best ones, because it largely comes down to personal preferences. They mostly get the same stuff done, so it's largely preference and feel and look. But that being said, as with everything else, I've over-researched this a bit, so I hope I can also provide a little bit of insight if you are looking to buy any of these specific items, what might inform your choices. So first we're going to start with heeled shoes, so squat shoes. The first one, we have my girlfriend's Romaleos here. I don't know if you can see it, but the back is bedazzled. Very cool. Romaleos and Adi Powers are kind of the go-to squat shoe. Cost a decent bit of money, very worth the money. They last quite a while. Both of them are 3/4 inch heels. My personal preference, my favorite 3/4 inch squat shoe is the Adi Power. The main difference to me is the fact that there's a little bit more of an aggressive arch support within the Romaleo that I don't like. It puts my foot in an uncomfortable position, and I'd rather have to create my arch manually by like kind of pressing my big toe into the ground than have it kind of forced onto my foot by the shoe. But they're both quality. If you're someone who maybe wants more arch support, maybe I would go with the Romaleo. As far as the 3/4 inch shoe department goes, other options that I might recommend is the Reebok Legacy Lifter is okay, but the Do Wins, are probably the cheapest good shoe that's going to last you a long time with a 3/4 inch heel. So if you're on a budget and you can't find a used pair, important note actually, so these right here, these are the Adi Power 1s. The Adi Power 2s are a completely different shoe that are more of a CrossFit type shoe though. They do have an elevated heel, but the heel is a bit squishy because you're meant to be able to do Olympic lifts as well as other athletic running type motions in them. And it's not specialized just for heavy lifting. It's a very different shoe. Can't say I recommend it very much as the sole is a bit too squishy for me, and it's not the same thing as the Adi Power 1s. If you can't find a pair of Adi Power 1s for sale, used, that you could like the price on, I do recommend the Do Wins. They're very good shoes. And then we kind of get into an intermediate category, which is half-inch shoes. If you decide that a 3/4 inch heel is excessive, you see no reason to use a 3/4 inch heel. Maybe it puts too much stress on your knees and you want something in the intermediate point. You kind of have three options off the top of my head. I think there's an Adidas shoe that does have an extra Adidas shoe that does have a 3/4 or a half-inch heel. But the ones I am familiar with, the first one we have to look at is right here, which is the Position 1s. They're very fancy. They are somewhat expensive. They've got they're like suede. They come with the custom laces, and they come with this pamphlet that's like, oh, these are super nice handmade shoes. You need to take care of them because they're nice handmade shoes. Well, I've taken care of them, and Max has taken care of his, and they've fallen apart to some degree. So I can't say I recommend these as much as far as the durability. The quality of the shoe is pretty nice. They've got a solid wood heel, which is traditional and very nice. They fit that half-inch criteria, but that being said, I think they do lack in the durability department, even though we are taking good care of them. If you're using them often, they seem to break down. The laces go, the eyelets seem to go, which leads you to kind of two other options. One of which also sucks. The other one that sucks is it doesn't suck. So a lot of you probably have this shoe. I'm not bashing you. I'm not a fan of the Adidas Powerlift shoes or the Adidas Powerlift 2.0 because again, they're like the Adi Power 2s. They're a hybrid shoe. They're supposed to be able to do CrossFit and run and have an elevated heel for lifting, which leads to the sole being a little bit too squishy to lift really heavy weights. So if you are lifting heavy weights or you want to eventually be lifting heavy weights, maybe these aren't the shoe for you. That being said, Andy Huang squatted like 800 in them. Max got up to like a 700 squat before he switched them out for position shoes. But recently, Nike has released the Savaleos, not to be confused with the Romaleos, as another option for a half-inch shoe. Everyone I know who has them has said they're very solid. They're very similar to just Romaleos with a half-inch heel, which means that they're going to be durable and likely are the best option for that half-inch heel category. So that kind of wraps up the heeled squat shoes. Those are the ones I'm familiar with. I think the real sleeper is the Do Wins, but my favorite squat shoe is the Adi Powers. They are the squat shoes that I've done the vast majority of my squats in. I had a white pair. They eventually wore out, and I've searched forever on used sites until I found that black and red pair. So moving up, the next thing is deadlift socks. I'm just gonna let you guys know, don't waste your money on something titled deadlift socks unless you really like how they look. You can just buy soccer socks or basketball socks or just athletic knee height socks. They all kind of do the same thing. The thickness is about the same. They're not gonna protect you any better. So there's no point in spending any extra money other than just going to your local sporting goods store and maybe buying some soccer socks if you don't like putting your knee sleeve over your shin or something. The next one I'm going to let you guys in on is the knee sleeves. I'm just going to start. My personal favorite is the Stoic sleeves. They're very moderately priced for a very, very high quality product. Back in the day, back when I first got into powerlifting, the SBD sleeves were being rolled out, and very quickly people realized that these are way better than the Reband sleeves that were kind of the original knee sleeve when bra was first coming about, and they were very, very high quality. And I got a pair. Used them for a good 4 or 5 years, and now they're my girlfriend's, and she's still using them, and they're still in phenomenal condition. At some point down the line, the manufacturing quality of the SBDs seems to have decreased. They got a little bit, while they're still the 8 millimeters, they feel a lot less dense within that 8 millimeters, that limit that you're allowed to use within competition. They definitely are a little bit less supportive, and they also seem to break down quite a bit quicker. I bought another pair, or my friend bought another pair that I got, and they broke within about a year and a half of use, whereas the other pair that I've had for 7 years now are still going strong, something like 7 years. Still going strong, getting used multiple times a week this entire time. So at some point the quality decreased a bit, and the Stoic sleeves remind me very much of the original SBD sleeves and at a lower price point. So I can't recommend those enough. Kind of the best of both worlds. Unlike the shoes where I had kind of two different options for, hey, if you've got the money, I like the Yachty Power ones, but if you're a little bit strapped for cash, the Do-Wins are the best bang for your buck. On the other side of the coin, the best bang for the buck and my favorite sleeve are the same sleeve. I can recommend that the Titan Yellow jackets, or whatever they're, the predecessor to that, not the predecessor, whatever came after the Titan Yellow jackets, those are solid sleeves. And I've heard that the new Inzer sleeves are really strong and really quality and probably are pretty durable. At some point the Slingshot sleeves went downhill, so I'm definitely going to recommend Stoic. If you want to investigate the Titan Yellow jackets and or the Inzer sleeves, I don't blame you, but the Stoic knee sleeves, buy once, buy right. Don't buy some cheap ones off of Amazon that are going to break down in 6 months, because if you have to buy 2 or 3 pairs of those, you may as well have just bought a nice pair that's going to give you more support and will last you longer than those 3 pairs. So that would be the next one. Moving up on the line, we get to belts. First, those of you who like strongman or strongman training, I do not have a lot of experience as I have just gotten into these, but this is my underbelt. It's just the generic neoprene Reband one. I can't say I'm super impressed with it as the Velcro is already wearing out. I will probably be purchasing either the traditional blue Reband one next, or the Cerberus one I know a lot of people like, to see if the Velcro is a little bit more robust, because I've only had this for a couple of months. I bought it in prep for my last strongman contest, and already the Velcro is kind of weakening. Definitely wouldn't recommend this one specifically. I'll let you guys know if I eventually come to one that I find is a little bit more durable. Definitely think the Cerberus one will be my next try. Getting into hard powerlifting belts, what I use, wouldn't even necessarily say it's my favorite, because I think most belts get the job done. I bought, as I got fatter, I outgrew my old Inzer. I bought the good old SBD belt that everybody seems to use. It's solid, it offers easy adjustability, but I'm going to be honest with you guys and say if I didn't get this used for a much lower price, I wouldn't have bought it. I don't think it's that much better than everything else. I don't think it's worth being twice as expensive as everything else, and the durability on these things kind of sucks. Mine's broken and I had to repair it, and then Max's broke, and then he messaged the people at SBD and they said, oh, you must have been throwing it. You can see there's scuffs on the thing, and it's like, he doesn't throw his belt. I don't think you can find a video of Max chucking his belt. The thing just snapped, and I don't see why a $200 belt should just be breaking from unclicking it. So I can't say I'm super impressed with the SBD belt. I don't think it's worth the additional money, although it is really convenient if you can get your hands on a used one. As far as what I would recommend, I would either go with Inzer, which comes with a lifetime warranty. They're just really high quality leather belts. They're made custom upon order, although they do have the black ones made ahead of time. So if you don't want to wait, you can just buy a black one. I had one for the longest time, lasted me forever, still works great. Now my girlfriend uses it, still going strong. zero issues, much more durable than the SBD one for half the price. And it comes with a warranty. If you like the lever belt, you can get a lever belt. The only problem with the levers on the Inzer belts is they require, if you're between sizes or you're at a different level of bloat for the day, you need to bring a screwdriver with you to adjust it, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not that bad. And if you don't like that, you can also go with a single or a double prong. And then the other side of the coin is you can also go with Pioneer. Pioneer has their custom lever that kind of offers you some of that variability without needing to break out the screwdriver for a pretty similar price point. So as far as belts go, I use an SBD. I really don't think it's that much better than anything else, and I certainly don't think it's $200 or $100 better than everything else. So I would recommend you guys to go with either a Inzer or a Pioneer. Usually I recommend saving up the money and just buying those two, but if you're going to buy something cheaper, the Strength Shop belt isn't that bad. It gets the job done, and it will last quite a while. I just recommend saving up for a little bit longer and buying once and buying right for the belt. Moving on to elbow sleeves, for those of you who are interested. If you're a power lifter, probably stay away from these outside of squatting. Just don't bench in elbow sleeves. You don't get them in comp. Don't make your training easier than the comp. Once again, these Stoic sleeves. I got a pair of SBD sleeves a couple training cycles ago, as my old gym was an SBD distributor. So it's like, I'll just buy it at the front desk. One day I decided I wanted some, and they broke down in a couple of training cycles. Very, very unimpressed. They're definitely thinner. That same decrease in quality applied to the elbow sleeves. Can't say I was very impressed with them at all. The durability was quite bad. And so recently I went to be like, I know I like their sleeves more for the knees, so I'll buy their elbow sleeves. So I bought the elbow sleeves from Stoic. So far I can tell they're significantly more durable. They're definitely more dense. I feel like I get more support out of them. Can't recommend these enough. I'm sure the Cerberus elbow sleeves are quite good as well, but based on my firsthand experience and the fact that they are at a very moderate to low price point, can't recommend the Stoic elbow sleeves enough. Moving on to, oh shit, we forgot flats. So we're gonna go over flats really quick. This was supposed to be at the beginning. I don't feel like reshooting this video. So this is the one that probably has the most personal preference. As long as the sole is thin, there's so many things that just come down to preference and feel, right? So things I don't have with me that are solid. The barefoot shoes, that's what my brother lifts in. He loves them. They've worked well for him. He preferred them greatly over, what are they called? The Notorious slippers or whatever they're called. He prefers the barefoots over those quite a bit. Says it feels more like just being barefoot deadlifting, which he feels most comfortable doing. So I can recommend the barefoots. I can recommend deadlift slippers, as long as you're not someone who creates a ton of lateral pressure or pulls sumo. If you pull sumo, you're probably going to have a problem with sliding over the lateral edges of the shoe, and you're probably going to need something that's a high top. A slipper isn't going to cut it, but if you're someone who pulls conventional, the A7 deadlift slipper is quite solid. The next thing I can recommend, if you have the money, is Vivo barefoot shoes. My girlfriend has hers with her, so I can't show you them. But I can't say I'm so impressed by these shoes. They fit to the foot really well. They feel just like being barefoot. They're very, very quality shoe just for general training. If you're someone who likes training in flats for squats and deadlifts, buy a pair of these. These will be your everyday training shoe. I'm sure you won't regret it if you like the feel of training barefoot, but you don't want to be gross. Very, very impressive shoe. Getting into, I mean, if you like them, you can wear Chucks. Like I said, the big thing is that the sole is thin, and if that criteria is met, there's a lot of flexibility. I used to lift in minimalist hiking shoes. These ones, the Reebok CrossFit Light TRs, I believe they are, or also as they're like colloquially known, the Reebok powerlifting shoe, the ones that supposedly Mark Bell helped design. Basically, they are just a pair of Chucks, but slightly tailored to have a wider toe box and maybe be a little bit more apt for lifting. These are phenomenal shoes. If you don't like the feeling of being barefoot, but you want a good wide toe box, a narrow sole, and just a good feeling shoe, these are awesome. I love these. They're great shoes, very worth the price. They haven't broken down on me at all. I think these are very, very nice shoes. But my favorite ones are the Sabo Good Lifts. They're not the Sabo deadlift shoes. They're the Sabo something or others, the red ones. Again, kind of like the Reebok shoes, I wouldn't say it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a shoe. It certainly feels like I'm wearing a shoe. It's got a good bit of support. Feels like it's got a nice thin sole, so it's not getting in my way. But if you like the feeling of having a shoe on, I think those two are probably your best options as far as a good wide toe box, being able to grab the ground. Something that's nice about these, some people like it, some people don't, is they have a very distinct raised lateral edge. So if you're someone who creates a lot of lateral pressure in your lifts, you're not going to roll over it because you have a barrier stopping you from rolling the side of the shoe, which is quite nice. Although I haven't found that's a problem in the Reebok shoes. So that would be my recommendations. Honestly, all of those are good. Whatever you have a preference for, they're all going to get the job done as long as the sole is thin. That one I don't really have a favorite per se. I only have these as my favorite because I like how they look and feel, not necessarily because I think they're that much better than everything else. Second to last thing we're going to get into, straps. Recently bought these WOW straps. I like these quite a bit. Straps are one of those things where it's entirely personal preference. I generally recommend that powerlifters stay away from figure eights because it's pretty easy to inflate your numbers and let the bar low in your hand. Using a figure eight strap and artificially inflate your training numbers. Although they feel really nice, the fact that they feel really nice might be why you don't want to use them. They are great for strongman though, so I don't know where I put mine. Oh, wow. Well, that's convenient. Here are mine. Just a generic pair off of Amazon. It seems like there's a manufacturer that just makes these all the exact same and offers to put different brands on them. So most of the ones on Amazon are basically the exact same figure eight, so I wouldn't stress too much about brand if you're into figure eight straps. If you're into Olympic style straps, I like the Iron Mind blue nylon ones, as they're extremely durable. You can either get the Olympic style like loop, or you can get the traditional like full lasso style. Those are extremely durable. The Iron Mind ones, if you just want a pair that's going to last you forever, the Iron Mind nylon ones are going to be probably the best choice for you. Kind of moving along, if you like cotton ones, I recommend you buy an extra thick pair so you don't have what's happened to me like 3 times now where it snaps on you. Get a thick pair of cotton straps if you like the feel of cotton straps. And as far as if you want a really durable lasso style strap, that's where I like these quite a bit. They have a metal clasp instead of a loop, and these things I don't think will snap for 1,000 years. So that's kind of that's my personal preference. These are my favorite. They run you quite a bit for a pair of straps. They run me about $50, but these are my personal favorites. Although there's a billion options. The only one I recommend kind of against is if you're deadlifting heavy. I don't necessarily recommend Versa grips as they tend to pop open sometimes. Recommend the powerlifter stay away from the figure eights, as I mentioned. But yeah, any loop strap that you like is going to work. I just like these ones the most. And then also if you're looking for really durable pair of lasso style ones, the Iron Mind blue ones are also a very, very good bang for your buck. And then I do not know where, oh, there it is. As far as wrist wraps, I'm a simpleton. I've tried a couple. There's kind of the way, when I was researching this, because I've kind of over-researched a lot of things, most people will make a distinction that there's 2 kinds of wrist wraps. There's just a support one, and then there's more of a cast one. One allows for a little bit of motion. It's just adding a lot of support to your wrist. The other one feels like you're in a cast. You can't move at all. I think that the cast ones are not necessary for raw lifting. We are not benching so much weight that we need to completely immobilize the wrist joint and dampen the feeling in our hands. I don't think that's worthwhile. I think that's only applicable for, equipped guys who are benching far more than I am able to. As far as the rest of us, I like more of just a support wrap. I've heard that the gangster wraps used to be decent, but again, the quality of the Velcro's gone down a little bit. That's what I've heard. You have a couple other options. My personal favorite is just the one I've always bought over and over. I've tried other people's, but I keep coming back to them, is the Inzer Z series. It's one of their original ones. They've been around for 1 billion years now. They're just a great durable wrap, or wrist wrap, that will last you a very long time. I can't recommend these things enough. They've always worked well for me. There's the Inzer Gold series, which is what my brother has, and that's definitely more of a cast wrap. So if you are interested in a really, really cast-like wrap, the Inzer Gold series is great. But the Inzer Z series has been my go-to forever. I got the longest one, which I believe is 36 inches, and it's been phenomenal. I've got nothing to complain about. I know some people really like their SBD wrist straps, and got nothing against them. This is just my favorite, and I believe it's notably cheaper than the SBD ones. So that's kind of a rundown of my favorite equipment. If you guys want my opinion on anything I didn't mention here, there's a good chance I'm familiar with it and have tried it at some point, because I'm very neurotic about my equipment and everything else. So please let me know if you guys have any questions. Please let me know if you have any videos you would like me to make that are similar to this one, not similar to this one. Just let me know. I'm always looking for ideas. That's the hard part of YouTube for me, is coming up with the ideas for the videos. I don't mind doing them at all. Thank you for watching my video, and have a great day.